most common first questions I get asked by brand new students is, how do you do the wobbly thing? So today's video is all about the wobbly thing, also known as vibrato. So the first exercise you're going to want to do if you want to learn vibrato is something called peg knockers. This is just going to loosen up your left hand and teach you the general motion of vibrato before we actually try playing with vibrato. Basically, the motion that you want is that of knocking on a door backwards. It's all in the wrist. Peg knockers are where you put your violin in playing position and you knock on your pegs like you're knocking on a door. You want to be really loose in the wrist. You don't want to grip too hard on the fingerboard with your hand. And this contact point here is actually moving. So yes, you are going to let go of your fingerboard when you're doing peg knockers. You're just going to rest your thumb on the other side to keep your hand in the right place. So that's your first exercise that will help you learn vibrato. The next thing that you want to try is playing very slow, rhythmic vibrato. I'll show you how. Probably the easiest finger to start with is going to be finger number 2. And I'm going to turn around so you can actually see my fingers instead of seeing them from this angle where you can't see the tips of them. So what you're going to do is the same motion you were doing with peg knockers, but you're going to allow your finger to rock back and forth while it's on the string. And when you first start, you want to do this really slow, as if you're playing measured quarter notes. I know, it sounds really annoying, but this is the best way to learn vibrato. After you get comfortable doing that, you're going to up the speed. Now you're playing eighth notes. Then you move on to sixteenths, and so on and so forth. When you get fast enough, you end up playing with real vibrato. Of course, you have to practice this with each finger individually, which can be a little bit time-consuming. Vibrato is one of those things that feels really weird and doesn't really work until someday, magically, it happens for you. I don't know why it's like this, but most students that I've taught, and myself included, master vibrato almost in the span of one day. You work on it for months and months and months and you just can't seem to get it, and then one day it just happens. So don't be surprised if it feels like you're not making any progress. Just keep at it, and I promise it'll work, you'll get it. It might just take some time. Once you've figured out how to do vibrato in the first place, the next thing to work on is actually adding it to your pieces. This can be tricky because you've got a lot of other things to think about, like the notes, the rhythms, and the bow technique. But you'll get it in time. Just keep working on constantly maintaining that vibrato. You'll want to start with putting it on your longest notes, and then start trying to add it to your shorter notes until you have constant vibrato through your entire piece. Once you've gotten really comfortable with using vibrato the entire time while you're playing, you can start using it to make expressive gestures. Here's what I mean. If I want a quieter but slightly agitated sound, I'll do a really fast and narrow vibrato like this. In contrast, if I want a really big dramatic sound, then I'll use a wider, more dramatic vibrato. You can also use your vibrato to make accents instead of using your bow, which can be really helpful in certain situations. Vibrato is a whole lot of fun to play with, and I hope this video has been helpful for you all. Feel free to ask me any questions that you have, and I'll see you next time.